Tovarishie, our target for tonight is Katni Airfield yet again. Each aircraft will carry 10 Fab 100 general-purpose bombs to maximize damage to this target. We have no fighter escort as this is a night operation. As usual, the river should be visible on the run-up to the target. The formation will bomb from an altitude of 2,800 meters or higher at commander's discretion. That's all. Давай, мужики. Welcome back aboard my Tupolev SB for the 9th mission of this SB career. Actually, don't do that yet. Before anything else, I'm going to get to getting the aeroplane started. So, turn over engine 1. There's my cockpit lights again. There we go. And it doesn't start. Okay, crack the throttle a little further open. See what that does. Put the flaps out while I'm thinking about it. Okay, maybe I got the throttle open too far. Try again. Double check everything is as it should be. There it goes. Alright, well, that's that then. Engine 2 selected, turn over engine 2. Huh, interesting. Now, as mentioned in the briefing, our target for today is once again our favorite punching bag, Katni Airfield. But this time we're starting from somewhere different, so I will have to talk a little bit about navigation as we go. The main thing is going to be an initial turn to heading 303 after takeoff until we cross this railway line, and probably this forest will be a more realistic set heading point here. And then we'll take a heading of 245. I'm actually going to write that down because those figures disappear once you zoom out too far. That was 303. Okay. Anyway, that's 2 good starts. I'll make sure I have both engines selected and throttles are evened out. I'll shut the canopy, lock the tail wheel, and we're good to go. Set takeoff power. Airspeed's alive. Up over 100. Up we go. Gear up. And got a decent turn of speed, flaps up. And at this point I'll throttle back to my typical climb power setting, which is about 75% squared. Generally allows the formation to catch up and for me to not overcook the engines. So, I don't really have the best reference points as to when to turn, do I? We'll figure it out. Here's probably good enough. And other airplanes are taking off. They do take off with their lights on. Maybe I should do the same. I've been not making a habit of it because, well, in general, flying with lights on under wartime conditions seems unwise, but on the other hand, the factor of safety on the ground might also play into it. I'm about to sneeze! Oh dear. And I've blown through my heading in the process. Alright, come back left to 303, and I think that realistically that forest blob there is going to be a more practical set heading point. I don't think I'm really going to be able to see the railway line. So, take a heading of 303 and trim. Climb at about 200 is probably fine. And I'll get the rudder trimmed once we're level. I'm not going to worry about that just now. So what can I see out of the bloody window? So I can see the big forest here. Is there a little forest over here? There's a town. That's interesting. It's probably... Where does that river hook? Oh. Oh, that's this one here. Okay, so we actually have some distance to go because we've got to cross this river. Okay, well, not flying the same old route over and over again, for now, is going to present an interesting challenge to navigation, I suppose. But since I know immediately where we are for the climb out, okay, so this bit of forest poking out here is this, I think, so I'm looking for this. Where's that other river? That should be the most visible thing, is that river and where it hooks over. Am I not where I think I am? That's entirely possible. Okay, what's on our right? Okay, that's always as it should be. Alright, we're passing over this hooky thing here. I think that forest clump is over there, and I'm just not seeing it quite yet, if I had to guess. Or it's hiding under my port wing. Except I don't think it is, because I'm turning somewhat left of track right now. I'm basically pointing due west, which I don't want to be yet. That being said, I am east of the track line on the map. Okay. This is possibly not what I think it is. Either way, I think I'm actually going to turn west now. Because I think we're in roughly the correct position, so I'll take a preliminary heading of 245 and try to spot that forest blob. And barring that, we should be able to spot where we cross this river. And that should be a decent navigational checkpoint. We're climbing through 1,300 meters. It'll take a little while yet to get up to altitude, and I've blown through my desired heading again. Multitasking! It, really sort of settles on your brain like a wet sponge. 2, 4... Nope, not there yet. 2, 4, 5. There we are. Continue to climb. What's this river over here? And it has another branch that pokes... Okay, I think I'm seeing where this bridge pokes north here. Well, that's okay, I guess. As long as it really is what I think it is. The only other thing I really need to mention as we're en route here is I received a very helpful comment on the last episode, which will be appearing on screen now if I remember, which outlined the fact that basically what I had incorrectly assumed to be a sort of dubious representation of nautical twilight by way of the glow in the sky was actually the moon, and that there is basically a bug that one occasionally encounters in IL-2 1946, where the moon doesn't appear in its correct place under certain conditions, and that the way to fix it is to just load a different map and then sort of, well, automatically, I guess, load back into the one you're actually going to fly in for your mission. If that doesn't make sense, again, I will put said comment on screen if I remember. So, we have the moon where it's supposed to be, and that really is moonlight. That is illuminating us as we go, which will make navigation somewhat easier as it makes more features on the ground visible. Might also conceivably make us more visible to enemy fighters, but I don't know if the Germans are really operating much in the way of night fighters on the Eastern Front at this point. So, if we encounter them suddenly, we'll know that they are. One thing I've usually been doing off-screen is ordering my flight into a Vic formation, so that where I drop my bombs is a bit more of a mean point of impact. We do have some clouds tonight. Hopefully they don't obscure the target. They do require me to reference my instruments a little bit more. I mean, this might be broaching a subject which will be debated somewhat, but, I mean, in night VFR flying is a thing in real life, but it's kind of quasi-instrument flying in practice a lot of the time. Well, sort of. It's, I would call it almost a bit of a hybrid. Anyway, we are crossing this river here, and I'm pretty confident that it is what it is. Though I suspect we may be somewhat south of track. Are there any obvious landmarks to our right? Yes! This long forest belt here appears to be this. So I just need to brush the edge of this one, and we should be on track, which I think we actually more or less are, but depending where that one ends. About there. I'll need to come right slightly to regain track, but that should be a fairly minor matter. We're nearly at cruise altitude, probably once we level off. Well, no, we got a ways to go yet to the target, so once we level off, I'll probably cut ahead. And I think 2,800 meters will be adequate. If we still take small caliber anti-aircraft fire from the field at that altitude, I'll bear it in mind, given the likelihood that we'll be sent to attack this target again in the future. But if we don't, I will also bear that in mind, because it'll be good to know. Okay, we are level. I will reduce to my usual cruise power of 65 squared. And I can probably actually jump into the true airspeed calculation once we're level and have picked up speed as well. So, level stabilizer on. Get the rudder trimmed to center the ball. Okay. Then, the first thing I will do is check if there's any drift visible in the bomb site, which I can already see that there basically isn't. We seem to never really get any at night, which is fine. It does simplify things. Now, have we gained all the speed we were going to yet? I think probably. Our indicated airspeed usually evens out at something like 300 or 310. That being said, I think I'll make my turn back to 245. Actually, after we've done this, which should be about the time that we've regained track. So, on to the calculating of the true airspeed. The outside air temperature is minus 10 degrees. I'm properly paying attention to this time. We're at 2,800 meters, which is 9,186 feet. Okay, so minus 10. 90, blah, 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 blah. At an indicated airspeed, which seems to have settled on 300, we have a true airspeed of 340. Yeah, I think I got that right. And that's the elevation. I'll dial in the altitude as well while we're here. Oops. 2,800, and we seem to be exactly on. We'll see if that changes when I make my turn, but I will now come left to a heading of 245. There it is. Compass can be a little hard to read when you're not zoomed in. And level off. Well, roll wings level, that is. And trim the rudder again. And everything else is about as it was. Oh yeah, I guess I didn't really elaborate too much on the airfield we're starting from. The regiment has moved several times day after day since the last mission as the enemy advanced. Our old airfield at Vitebsk, let's see, this one here, is now firmly in enemy hands, for instance. We moved like here, 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 that whole thing. And since those moves were essentially administrative in nature and didn't involve dropping any bombs or any much likelihood of encountering the enemy, I elected not to record full-blown episodes for them. So that's pretty much why we started where we did. I don't think there's much more to say. I will continue to navigate to the target and come back when we get there, or when I get lost, hopefully not. Okie dokie, there's the bendy river that you're probably accustomed to by now. We're approaching our target. I'm going to run the sight out and see if I can spot it. There it is. Need to come right a little, so I'll stomp on the rudder trim. I will open my bomb bay doors and issue the order. Drop bombs on my command. And I'll see if I can spot any clusters of aircraft in revetments. I can see one already, and we're pretty well lined up with it. So I think that's going to be what I drop on. So, sight's coming down. Gonna have to actually be kind of quick about this. Salvo mode. Whoops. And the searchlight is fouling my side picture. Right. Well, please don't do that again for just a... Ah! Why did I even say it? Anyway, I can see these German aircraft. Gonna drop my bombs on them. I don't see any tracers coming up, which suggests we might be high enough to avoid the worst of it. And... bombs away. Well, we'll see what that does. I think that went fairly well. So, what does our egress look like? I didn't bother to check. I had to be kind of quick on the bomb run, so... Oh, off the target, we turn to a heading of 125. I'll probably turn a little bit past that, and the searchlights have got us. Not that they seem to have anything they're capable of hitting us with up here. 125, because we've blown past that, I'll turn past that heading. And our set heading point is this road. I don't know if I'll realistically be able to see that. More likely that I should actually try to find Tupolev and regain heading over that. Yeah, I'll do that. Is that it over there? Possibly. I think I'll just fly a heading of 09 or 0 until I hit this river, because we definitely shouldn't miss that. So I will do that. Verify, actually, that there's no fire coming up at us from the airfield. None, just lights, and oh boy, is there ever a lot of smoke down there. We definitely did a number on that place. Well, that is well. Take a heading of 09 or 0, level off, and try and get my bearings a little bit here. Okay, so we have this blump of forest down the air. I think that might be this. But again, I'm mainly looking for the river. Actually, I can use the bomb sight as a magnified optic for that purpose. Ah, there. Okay. Yeah, I got the whole thing there. Where the river protrudes. Yeah, that's all pretty clear to me, so... This is the town of Tupolev. I'll just overfly it and take a heading of 063. Why don't I write that down? There we are. Okay. Unless that's not Tupolev, but I'm fairly sure it is. Also, does it have loads of anti-aircraft guns in it? I guess we'll find out. In the past, our route back from here took us past some guns, and those were here, but those are probably moved by now. So, whatever. Did I shut my bomb bay doors? No, I didn't. And I need to do the thing. There. Now he should shut his. Which he has done. Excellent. Well, that's just fine. Are we overflying the town yet? Just about. So if I make it a shallow turn, I can probably start it now. So turn left, heading 063. Keep it nice and shallow. And don't climb. Okay, little out, trimmed, and I think I should be able to navigate home without too much trouble, because we've got lots of bodies of water to cross on the way home. That should all be quite well, so I think I will just self-navigate home, and see you when we get back, unless something shocking happens on the way. Hello, hello. I do believe I've found our home base. Yeah, Dubnova Airfield is the only one in the immediate area, so I do believe I've found it. And the town of Dubnova should be over there. Yep, so I think we're in position. I'm actually going to pull the power off all the way, because my plan is to cross over the field and join a left downwind to land on whichever runway faces this way. The one we took off on. So, pretty much per the usual thing, it's just a new field. No paved runway anymore like we had in Vitebsk, but, you know, can't have that sort of luxury indefinitely. On the plus side, it appears that some cheeky bugger hasn't gone and strung up some balloons for me to fly into this time, so you lot can return to base. I will contact ground and request landing, which I have been cleared to do. And there we are. I'll probably level off about here. And I will turn on all my lights this time in the noble name of safety in the circuit, and just hope that there aren't any prowling German night fighters who will spot it and pluck me out of the sky. Which, well, we haven't encountered any so far, but it doesn't mean they're not there. It's just, it's a big empty sky at night. I think, radar direction for night fighters, like, remember, it's 1941, none of that stuff is really, has really come of age yet. And even then, it seems to be more a focus that's aimed against, RAF Bomber Command in the west. So, button of the runway is coming up on 45 degrees behind us. I'll pull some power off. Make sure mixture props full forward, radiators full open. I'll put the gear down and put some flap out. Might have actually been a little fast to, well, actually, no, not. Wow. He says, once again, no idea what things like the gear and flap limits in the SB are, because I haven't read the manual for this aeroplane, because good luck finding it. Anyway, I'll make a slightly shallower turn onto final. Generally good to keep it to right one turns in the circuit when you're at low speed, especially the statistically dangerous turn from base to final. Anyway, the runway is pretty well illuminated, so we should be able to just, you know, land. I'll take a sip of tea, check that the tail wheel's locked, and I think that's going to be about it. I'll maintain 160 until we're over the button of the runway, then I'll pull the power off and either slam down like a grand piano or grease it gracefully. Very brief story time. I've landed on a grand total of 1 unpaved runway in real life, and of course on that occasion I had to drop it in like a grand piano. But we'll see if I can do better than that this time. Not really. Oh well. Yeah. Anyway, we lived. Bring those flaps up. Are those? Oh, those are U2s. Okay. That makes sense. Get clear. I don't think it matters very much where we park up, so I'll just do it over here by these buildings. Tower. Shack. Some trucks with antennas poking out of them. Yay. Stop the airplane before we run into the outhouse or whatever it is, please. And shut the lights off. Engines off. Open the lid. And that's gonna be it. We definitely did plenty of damage to the target this time. And everyone came home, so I don't think I can ask for any better than that. I will see you in the debriefing. Righto. Your skill in combat against the fascists has drawn the approval of the party. Well, yep, I am in agreement with that assessment, because, yeah, we plastered the place. You'll note that, unfamiliar route. My track is a little squigglier than it has been in the past, as I was no longer on a route that I could fly with my eyes closed for having done it so many times, but I was pretty much always where I thought I was, so it's all doable. We destroyed 5 planes and a car on the ground. And the other aircraft in the formation probably got plenty as well, so yeah, I don't have too much more to say about that. That has been a successful mission against, admittedly, a fairly easy to find and well-beaten target, but I'm not going to complain. I'll be back with the next mission reasonably soon. Toodles.